everyone, thanks for coming back to the BNS channel. We are driving on the highway. I don't necessarily look at the camera very often, and I just want you to know that both hands are on the wheel. I am not holding the camera, and very rarely do I actually look at you guys, so it would be no different than me looking in my rearview mirror or my side mirrors, which is what we were taught in driver's ed. I want to talk about something in regards to affirmations. I have heard very often how people say affirmations or mantras or whatever you want to call them, in a regards that they do it like every day, maybe every morning, every night. Maybe they say mantras or affirmations all throughout the day. Well, this is what I want to talk about, because most people that are doing mantras or affirmations are missing one key component. And some of you may be saying, well, yeah, I do affirmations all the time, but it doesn't ever seem to come true. So this is where I'm gonna kind of help you. And I know I've talked about this before, and my videos have kind of gotten pushed down, and I've done so many that who knows how long ago I did one like this. All right, let's do an equation. Thought, which is your affirmation or your mantra, that's the thought that you're processing through your head over and over and over and over and over again. Thought plus emotion, the feeling that you have about that thing, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, equals action. Action plus thought and emotion equals achievement. So the thought process is simple, and I say simple, it's something that you have to do repetitively, and it becomes a habit, and you do these affirmations, and you have these thoughts, and you do your mantras, and you do them every day, and you think about it, and you think about it, you think about what you want, not what you don't want, you focus on the good things, not the problems. But the piece that's missing that is so vital, and I've seen this over and over again, and I've actually experienced this myself, and it was such a revelation when I came to understand what I was missing, because I said affirmations every day. I said affirmations when I'd get up in the morning. I'd say affirmations during the day when I think about it. I'd say affirmations before I went to bed. And if things were happening in regards to that affirmation, if those things were coming true, it was taking a really long time. And it can be frustrating when you're saying these things over and 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 over, and nothing is coming true, or if it does, it's taking forever. That's because the emotion to the thought is missing. So what does that mean? If you're having a thought of something that you want, and you add the emotion, because when we're doing affirmations, we're supposed to be talking in current state, right? So we don't say things like, I want to be a millionaire. We say things like, I am a millionaire. But when we say those things, a lot of times our brain is not really agreeing with it. We get that little itty bitty, like Becca Levi says, little itty bitty committee that is trying to talk you out of it or make you understand that it's not real and it's not true. But when you add an emotion of what it feels like when you will be a millionaire, so what feelings, when you first find out that you're a millionaire, what feelings will you experience? Overjoyed, right? Thoughts of what you could do with the money. Happiness, relief, maybe, peace, a deep breath, like, oh goodness, I can do this. What emotion will be triggered when that affirmation does come true? So when you have the affirmation, I am a millionaire, with the holy shit, I'm a millionaire, and the emotion that comes with it, and the chills that you get, or the perma smile that you have, when you do the thought plus the emotion, it equals action. Because what happens is now all of a sudden your subconscious mind says, yeah, we're millionaires. And this is how it feels to be a millionaire. So you're going to start working in your real world, in your today world, in your conscious world to match up to that, to line up to that thought, right? Because affirmations are primarily for our unconscious mind, right? We want it to believe it. We want to have it come to fruition. So we think about it, and we think about it, and we visualize it, and we have emotion for it, and we see what it feels like, and we know what it feels like, and we just work towards that based on the fact that your thought and emotion are lined up. But if you're just thinking about it, there's many things we've thought about that we don't take action on. Is that not true? But when you apply or add an emotion to a thought, one, it becomes ingrained in your head. You know, think about scent. That's the beauty of my business, is that I'm with Scentsy, but you have a scent of your grandmother that's embedded in your head, and anytime you smell it, you will recognize it, even if it's not on your grandmother, because of the emotion that it triggers when you smell it. When you attach emotion to a thought or to one of your senses, it will stick like glue, more like super glue. Okay, so thought plus emotion equals action. And the action plus the thought and emotion, when you apply all three of those things, that's when the accomplishment or the achievement or the fruition or the manifestation happens. I hope that makes sense, because honestly, that's a big piece of what a lot of people are missing in this life. They do the thought, and they think that just because they're thinking about it, it's going to happen. You know, that was part of the piece that was missing, or the missing puzzle in the movie The Secret. And there are other movies that have come out after that that have realized that there was a big part of that movie missing. Because in The Secret, thoughts become things. Well, thoughts don't become things without emotion. Thoughts don't become things without action. And in order to get action, you have to have thought with emotion. It's a proven formula. It works. So learn and practice about thinking about the things as they would be now. I am healthy. I am losing weight every day. I am choosing proper foods. I'm exercising and I love it. The I love it part is where you add the emotion. I'm eating healthy foods and they're so delicious. I love eating healthy foods. I've lost weight and I feel amazing. Like I can do more things. So when you take the thought and you add the emotion to it, the action will start happening kind of on its own. And once that action is added, you get achievement. You're going to accomplish those things. It's going to happen. It's going to manifest itself in your life. Try it. I promise. Promise, promise, promise. Think about the things that you want and then put them in what I call a current dialogue, meaning that whatever it is that you want has already happened or is currently happening, right? It's currently happening in your life. I am a millionaire. I am a superstar director. I am an amazing wife. I have an amazing husband. My children are successful. My grandson is so smart. Right? So put it all in current tense. The now. Add emotion to it. Watch the action come to life. And then watch the manifestation of that thing or thought presenting itself in your life. You know, it's kind of an easy thought to think of when you say, well, you bought a new red car, you drive off the lot, and then all of a sudden every car that you see is red. That is a thought plus an emotion. The emotion was you actually getting in the car and driving off with it, and the action of driving off, and now all of a sudden it's kind of locked in your head, and so that's all you're seeing. It's also called the reticular activating system, which you've heard me talk about before, which is a thing in your head, part of your mind. The reticular activating system brings things to your focus that you never noticed before, but it was always there. You know, and I use this term within Scentsy. There are people that once all of a sudden now they're thinking about joining Scentsy, but then all of a sudden all the Scentsy consultants in their area are kind of showing up in their life. Well, that's because you've activated the reticular activating system. Those people were already there. You just didn't notice it because there was no emotion attached to your thought. Once you attach the emotion to your thought, action happens, and now you're realizing that there's a lot of other consultants in your area, but it won't affect who you are and what you are as a consultant because they were already there. You just didn't notice them. So if they weren't in your everyday life, then that means that your everyday life didn't have a consultant, and so being a consultant would be an amazing thing because you would be that consultant in your life. I hope that kind of makes sense because it's kind of a no-brainer thought because you think, okay, well, the reticular activating system is taking charge. A perfect example. I was leaving my sister's this morning and my nephew got a new car. It's a Honda. And as I was leaving, I got into my van and I said to my brother-in-law, I said, Sean, is this Sean's car? And he's like, yeah. I said, oh, it's a Honda. That's cool. So the excitement for him was my emotion, and the fact that I saw a Honda, all of a sudden I'm on the highway and now every car is a Honda. Every car is a Honda. It blows my mind even to see these types of manifestations happening. This is not hooey-pooey stuff, guys. This is based on us not utilizing parts of our brain that already exist and that are already there. And all we're doing is understanding how they work and then utilizing them in that manner. That's all we're doing. So I would suggest that you all try it. Understand the equation. Thought plus emotion equals action. Action plus emotion plus thought equals achievement. That's how it works. Thought plus emotion equals action. Emotion, thought, and action equal achievement or accomplishment or fruition or manifestation, whatever you want to call it. So I challenge you all to start changing your thought process and your emotions and allowing yourself to feel what it would feel like to accomplish that thought or to have that thought or to see that thought. Okay? Have an amazing day, everybody, and make it an amazing day for somebody else. I'll see you later.